Hello friends, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is my mystical bookshelf. And today I'm continuing with the spring type of books, and I am going to be giving you my thoughts on The Secret Garden. This is a reimagining. I found this at Goodwill, so please excuse that it looks gross. I was like, I read The Secret Garden, the original abridged version. I read the abridged version last year, and I wasn't crazy about it, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it was like the time era it was set in or the fact that it was abridged, but it just didn't hit me like I thought it would, because I've always heard such good things about The Secret Garden, and I did enjoy it. I mean, I gave it 3 stars. That's sort of like a middle of the road book that I enjoy, that it's not like world changing, but I still enjoyed it, and I still liked all the vibes that I got from it. But it just didn't hit me like I thought it would. I'm trying to find the unabridged original version. I think I found it on Audible. I might listen to it because I've read the abridged version that was made for like kids, I think, with like little illustrations, and then I've read this version, and so I think listening to the audiobook, maybe it'll hit me differently. But I found this at Goodwill, and it really caught my eye because I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful cover. Like, I love the roses on the side, and I like the reimagining of the characters and how it's set in New York. I thought that was really cool. And the drawings are just so cute. I love the way they drew all of the characters and the kids. So I'm going to point them out. This is Mary, so that's Mary reimagined. And then this is Colin reimagined. And this is Dickerson reimagined. And I don't always like reimagined versions of books, but this one was actually really sweet and really, really good. It was sort of a different take on who Mary is, because it's obviously modern. So Mary is like this gamer girl, and she is in this house, like she has a smart house in this book. So it's kind of like in the original Secret Garden, I think Mary was by herself as well in that book, but it wasn't. I think it was because her parents were busy working, and I think that's what it is in the reimagined version too, but I think it was just Mary was sick in the original book, and this is more like she's not sick, but she's always left alone, and everything is provided for her. Like, she has a smart fridge, she's got a TV and a computer, and she also has things where she can look at who's at the front door. But she ends up getting sent to New York City to live with her uncle, which is on par with how the original book was. Mary was also sent to live with her uncle. I'm not sure if they changed the names of anyone. I think they did change the name of the spouse of this book, because I think in the original it was her uncle was married to a woman named Maria, but in this reimagining, the main her uncle is married to another man named Masahiro, I think. So it's kind of a reimagining with like representation of different orientations, which I thought was interesting. I'm not opposed to reading anything like that, so I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of Masahiro, because they show him and her uncle. Oh, here they are. So like Mary goes through her uncle's things in the, like a little bit into the book, and that's Masahiro and her uncle, and they were married for a while, and I think he passed away from, I'm not sure how he passed away, but it was the same premise of the original Secret Garden, where it's like her uncle is so heartbroken over the death of his spouse, and so Mary has to like, and in the beginning it's like Mary's navigating everything on her own, and she is under the care of Martha. So that's Martha, and that's Dickerson's sister, is Martha. So Martha's kind of like, in the original book, I think she's one of the servants, but in the reimagining, it seems like she's a nanny. So that's kind of interesting. And so she meets all the characters in the beginning, and she meets Martha, and we go through all of the character development with them, and how Mary starts to open up to everybody, and she's kind of like bratty and like finicky at first, and that's how she is in the original telling too. And I think the character development in the reimagining is it feels much better than the original one. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a graphic novel. I really enjoy reading graphic novels. Like, I love being able to see the magic, it's not magic. Being able to see the secret garden. I love being able to actually feel what Mary's feeling. Maybe that's what I didn't like about the abridged version, is it felt very removed from the characters. Like this one, I feel like graphic novels, even when there are no words on the pages, like I love being able to see, like, because Mary's not used to being around people, so this is like her like being surprised at how many people live in New York, and that's kind of interesting, and it's cool to see her like looking at things that she had never really seen before. Like, you can tell that she's like dreaming about something, like, who are these mannequins, and they're so pretty, and you can see that she's struggling with like maybe a little bit of social anxiety. And I think another thing that I really enjoyed about this book was, in the original telling, when we meet Colin, like, I could tell that Colin has anxiety in the beginning, or in the original telling, but they don't really say it, because I don't think mental health issues were like talked about. Because I think the original Secret Garden, it takes place in, I want to say the 1800s or like early 1900s. I'm not for certain. But it's like, because Colin has this condition in the original story, and I can tell that it's anxiety, even though they don't say that explicitly. But in this book, they do explicitly say it. And I really thought that was interesting. And I also liked meeting Dickon. Wow, I think I was calling him Dickerson or something, but Dickon, that's his name. I also liked this illustrations of meeting Dickon, because Mary gets all dressed up and she just looks a little bit embarrassed. And I really like those subtle, like, I've never met any other kids. I feel like I'm a little socially awkward or shy. And I think that's why Mary feels angry, is because she doesn't know how to handle being shy. She doesn't know how to handle meeting other people, because she's not like traditionally socialized and stuff. But I really like Dickon's character. It's so cute watching their friendship blossom. I like watching them be friends with one another. And it's so cute how they stumble upon the secret garden together, and it's really interesting. I like seeing them like getting their hands dirty, and I like watching them like come together and plant plants and stuff and flowers. And I just think maybe the Secret Garden was always meant to be a graphic novel. I just didn't know it, because this book feels much more like immersive than the original telling. And I just think it's because there is so many flowers and plants that it's just, you have to see it. I feel like in the original telling, or the telling that I read, the abridged version, there was not that many descriptions. And I'm like, where's the descriptions of these plants? I want to know what I'm actually supposed to be imagining in my head. And when I look at this graphic novel, I love that we get to see how the garden looks. And I'm trying to find where they actually show it in full, because it looks really beautiful. And I applaud Ivy Noel Ware and Amber Padilla for doing such a great job with this graphic novel, because it is so beautiful. I think at the very end they show the garden as like a whole. So like that's at the end of the book, at the end of the novel. And it just, I love the way that it's drawn, and I feel like this retelling has more family-oriented vibes. Like this is another picture that I really loved in this book. And I think another scene in this book that this retelling actually made me emotional, because I feel like the first one, it's supposed to make you feel emotional, but I didn't really feel connected to Mary or Dickon or Colin, like, whatsoever. But in this book, actually seeing their expressions and seeing what they're going through, I felt more connected to them. And I think one picture that really captured my heart, like, fully, was this one, like seeing Archie and him and Colin hugging, like seeing the father hugging son. It just really makes you appreciate your family, and it made me appreciate that I'm happy that I'm so close with my family and that I'm not removed from them like Colin was removed from his dad. And seeing that homecoming actually depicted, it really warmed my heart. Like, it was so sweet. I feel like I connected much more with this retelling than I did the original one. And I'm going to try and listen to the audiobook, because I do have it. It's free on Audible. I'm hoping that it's the unabridged version. And I hope that maybe listening to it, I will connect more to the original story, and that I'll be able to appreciate the original story, because I do appreciate it. I just feel like I didn't get as much out of it as I had hoped I would, because I was kind of disappointed when I read the abridged version last year. I was like, well, that's it. I feel like everybody says so many great things about this book. Why don't I feel any of it? So it was kind of disappointing. I mean, I found the book at Goodwill, so it's not like I lost anything. And it didn't take me that long to read either. I read it last year in August, and I think it took me like a day or two. And this graphic novel took me like a day to read. Usually graphic novels are easier for me to get through quickly, because I love all the pictures, and it just feels... Graphic novels are so fun and exciting. I love reading them. I love seeing all of the expressions on people's faces. Like when we see Colin, I think it's so interesting that we see how the anxiety affects him. Like, he's got dark circles under his eyes. He looks sad. He looks like it's taking a toll on him. And I'm glad that in this retelling they actually acknowledged that he has anxiety and that he's not sick, because he does have anxiety, and that is something that's real. And it shows him, or it shows his therapist too. That's his therapist. That's who he talks to about his anxiety too. And I love that representation. And I also enjoy Mary's character too. I enjoy her character development more in this retelling. I feel like they make her much more compassionate. Because in the original book, I kind of felt like she was very bratty. And I know that's how she's supposed to be, but it was like almost too much. Like, I don't think she needed to be that much of a brat in the original one. And I feel like she's more, or I feel more empathy for her in this retelling than I did in the than I did in the original book. Because I feel bad that her parents passed away, but it was hard for me to feel empathy towards her because she was so angry and so, like, I hate the world and stuff like that. And this version of Mary is kind of still a little bit hateful towards the world, but it's not. She's more, I feel like she's more well-rounded in this book, and she opens up more quickly than in the original telling. Like, she becomes friends with Dickon very quickly, and she opens up to him a lot faster than in the original book too. And I enjoyed Colin's character more too, because in the original it's like they said he was sick, but I really understood that he did have anxiety, and I'm just glad that they spelled it out in this retelling. And like, I enjoyed seeing Mary and Colin interacting with each other more in this book, in this retelling. I enjoyed their conversations and how Mary got him to open up more, and it's just sweet because they're cousins, and it's nice seeing them interact and stuff, and it's nice to see. I love all the expressiveness in a graphic novel. Like, I love that we can see Colin, like, becoming happier as he talks more with Mary, and it's nice to see them helping each other. And this book definitely warmed my heart, and I love the art style of it, and I'm so glad that I found it. And I want to read other graphic novels from these two women, because it says there's also another one that seems like it's about Little Women. It says Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. It's right, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's right there. And I would love to read that version too and see how Little Women is retold, because that was also another novel that I read in high school for my AP literature class that I enjoyed. I did enjoy it, but some parts of it felt, I don't know what it is about classic novels, but they feel so removed and sterile. They feel so unemotional. I don't know if it's just the time era that these writers were living in, but it just feels like there's no emotion. There's no, like, I don't feel connected to them as much. And I don't know why. Maybe it's the writing feels so stiff. The writing feels very stiff. I think it might be the way the English language was back then, because it definitely, I feel like the English language has evolved to feel more not as stiff or as formal. It felt really formal. I think that's why I don't connect with older novels or classics as much, because it feels very formal. But this retelling, I gave it a 5-star. I don't know how you can't. It's such a good, wholesome story with a nice, wholesome message. And it's really all about family. And that's what I love about this retelling, is all about family. And it's all about coming together and restoring the beautiful garden together and enjoying it as a family. Because Martha and Archie and Colin and Dickon, they all end up in the garden together having dinner. And like at the end, it's like they're all just hanging out in the garden together, and it's so wholesome, and they're really enjoying their time with one another. And oh, here's a better representation of that. Like, I love seeing all of them being together and like keeping Masahiro's legacy alive by restoring the garden and like hanging out in there together. And it's just really cute. and it's so wholesome. And I don't understand how anybody could, like, not give this a 5-star, because the vibes are all there and the drawings are beautiful. I love the way the roses are depicted right here, because that was Masahiro's favorite flower, and it's just really sweet. And it was a great retelling, and I enjoyed it a lot. I'm really glad that I found it at Goodwill. And if you are able to pick this up and read it, I would totally recommend reading it. Because if you are like me and didn't connect as well with The Secret Garden as you had hoped, I think this would be perfect for you, because it helped me connect with it more. And I appreciate the original story more now. And I'm going to try and listen to the audio version and see if that helps too. But yeah, so that was my thoughts on that. And I hope that you continue to enjoy these book review videos, and if you have any suggestions of books you want me to read or books that you think I would like based on what you've seen me read, maybe let me know in the comments and we can talk about it. And I will see you in the next video. So goodbye, friends!